Right, over to Alistair Lamont. Al, time for the national anthems out there in Athens.
Yeah, just in time, Kenny. Here comes Flower of Scotland.
Please remain standing for the national anthem of Greece.
Welcome to Stadio Georgios Kariskakis in Piraeus on the outskirts of Athens, as Scotland aim to take the penultimate step towards World Cup qualification by avoiding defeat against Greece tonight. Win or draw, and assuming Denmark beat Belarus, then it's back to Hampden for a winner-takes-all meeting with the Danes on Tuesday. The World Cup place is drawing tantalisingly close after such a long absence, and a playoff is already the worst case scenario, but automatic qualification is the holy grail, and that's the dream Scotland will try to keep alive this evening. The players in their brand new all-blue home kit, but they will sport that here in the Greek capital for the first time tonight. They've just had their team photo taken as the 42-year-old Craig Gordon trots towards his goal. He might well have thought that his Scotland days were over, but he might well have thought that on a number of occasions throughout his career. And yet again, here he is, returning to the fold for an 82nd time. He will be between the sticks for the national team. The two captains now, Andy Robertson of Scotland and Liverpool, along with Anastasios Bakasetas of Panathinaikos and Greece, go through the coin toss and the exchange of pennants before the formalities end and the action begins. And there's actually going to be the relative rare occurrence now of a change of ends. Not sure who instigated that, but Andy Robertson waving his teammates to the right hand side of the pitch, and they will play in front of the Tartan Army, who are by and large across to our right hand side, although there are pockets of Scotland fans throughout the stadium, as we were able to see during the singing of Flower of Scotland just a few moments ago. The Greeks are all in white, and they go into a huddle just outside the centre circle. The game is technically, from a competitive point of view, meaningless to them, but I'm sure that each and every one of those players is out there looking to prove a point. They were pretty excellent at Hampden, you'd have to say, and somehow left with a 3-1 defeat, and that's helped Scotland to be on the brink of a World Cup place. It will be Greece to kick us off, going from left to right at the start of this game, as Vangelis Pavlidis clips the ball all the way back to his goalkeeper Odysseus Vlachodimos, and we are underway, and Vlachodimos of Sevilla launches it over the halfway line. A commanding header early on from John Souttar. Gannon Doak starting on the right hand side for Scotland, and it's picked up at the back here by Panos Retsos. He hasn't actually played a competitive match for some time, but he comes in for the injured Mavropanos, which will have been a blow to the Greeks for this one. Here's Andy Robertson sliding it down the left hand side for Scotland, but picked up by Greece. But Karetsas has given it away, and McGinn begins to charge forward, runs into Retsos, and then the challenge goes in favour of the Greeks, but despite it looking like Mouzakitis, the teenager in the middle of the park, perhaps committed the foul himself. But Greece have early possession here. A minute gone in the Greek capital, as Retsos plays it to his left hand side to Kouliarakis of Wolfsburg, another young promising player in this Greek setup. They haven't quite fulfilled their potential in this campaign, but you have to say, Billy Dodds, from what we've seen of the Greeks so far, surely in qualifying campaigns to come, they are going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, have to get better with experience, you would say, but as you said, and I've just picked up here in another pocket, they're a dangerous team, and we're going to have to be organised and careful right throughout this 90 minutes.
Karetsas getting on to that left foot, charged down at the edge of the box though, but he is such a talent, the 17-year-old from Genk, who was born and brought up in the Belgian city, but chose the country of his parents to represent them, and that is a big bonus for Greece. Still just 17, but such a talented player. And there was a massive moment in the game at Hampden when he'd come on late on, having been not fully fit, and Angus Gunn produced a magnificent save to deny him at 2-1 to Scotland. And it wasn't long after that Lyndon Dykes went up the other end and sealed the victory. But that was a huge moment, and that's what we'll be trying to do throughout this game. Come in off that right hand side, get shots off, and crosses in with the left foot. And Andy Robertson will have a big job in his hand. The ultra experienced Scotland captain, now on to his 89th cap for his country. It's Kouliarakis coming forward here for Greece, slips out to his left hand side to Tsimikas. He's continued his run, he gets to the byline, he gets it into the box, but Lewis Ferguson knocks it away out to that far side, the Greek left. But Kouliarakis and Tsimikas combining well on that left hand side for the Greeks in these early stages. 3 minutes in, no goals. You're with us on Sports Sound on both BBC Radio Scotland and indeed 5 Live. And welcome to everyone joining us for this massive game as Greece progress the ball down that left hand side. It's Mouzakitis for Tsimikas into the feet of Pavlidis, who's picked up once again on that left hand side. Greece enjoying some decent possession, but Craig Gordon gets his first meaningful touch as he picks the cross out of the air. And that'll be, as experienced as he is, though, it'll be important for him to get that early touch and early good take, if you like.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he just where a skiddy surface as well, the ball will be wet and there's a chance here.
Yeah, Adams is almost in, but he's penalised for a shove on Kouliarakis, but it's a little bit slippy. You see that, a couple of the players slipping there, but yeah, carry on.
And that made the catch even more impressive, because he just takes it, Craig Gordon. You'd expect him to do it anyway. I'm watching the setup, it's structured just as we talked at the start of the programme. We have to look at Gannon Doak, because the first couple of times when Solis took off, he went with him and it was really good. But then Mouzakitis took off one of the times and he went out to him first, and it was a little bump and go, and that's when they get in behind us. So just with the inexperience of Ben Gannon Doak, not a defensive thinking player, just have to make sure whatever player it is that does that run, especially down that left side, because we know they're dangerous, he has to stay with his man all the way.
Yeah, Solis, who's come in off that left already in a central area, knocks it back to Mouzakitis, and now it's Tsimikas up against Gannon Doak going down the Greek left, almost at the corner flag. manages to get the cross in. Out comes Gordon again, he clutches that one as well, and a couple of good takes from him in the early stages here. His last appearances for his country were in the two legs of the Nations League playoff. Kept a clean sheet here, but the disappointment of Hampden, he's launched that long. Shea Adams looks back at him and says that was way too much on that.
Yeah, Gordon's having a little pop back though and saying to him, get up the park when we've got possession, go high. We just can't sit in all night. Yeah, we want to counter attack, but if he has come and he's taken a catch, take your time and make sure we get our forward players high, and then we can kick it on them. There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm not sure exactly what Shea Adams is thinking about, just standing still in the arch of the centre circle.
5 minutes in, no goals between Greece and Scotland in this crucial game, as John McGinn battles away and gets it back to Andy Robertson on the halfway line. He turns it back to Hanley. Hanley under pressure there from Bakasetas, plays it back to Gordon, left footed, he knocks it over the halfway line. Kerbelis just knocks that into Retsos of Olympiakos, playing on his home turf here, and now it's into the midfield for Mouzakidis. Likewise an Olympiakos players come through the ranks at the club, and already at 18 established himself as a first pick in their starting lineup, as Retsos has it. Just turns it back to Vlachodimos, who was given the gloves for the last game against Denmark, a 3-1 defeat out in Copenhagen. Could have been more actually. It was another rather difficult night against the Danes. Greece have found it tough against them. Souttar's misjudged a long ball through the middle. Pavlidis picks up on the edge of the box, shooting opportunity, brilliant save from Craig Gordon, belying his ears, but there's the goal from Bakasetas as he picked up on the rebound, and what a start for Greece. And it's their skipper Anastasios Bakasetas who has lashed them in front. Craig Gordon with a brilliant initial save to deny Pavlidis, but he could do nothing to keep out the rebound as Bakasetas picked it up and rifled it low, left-footed, to make it, after just 7 minutes of play, Greece 1, Scotland 0.
That's a devastating blow, it really is, and it shows you from the Craig Gordon kick why at times Shea Adams should have been high. But anyway, when they kick it, I mean, John Souttar gets himself into all sorts of trouble, and we talked about that skiddy surface out, it bounces, lets in Pavlidis, you think he's going to score, but it's a brilliant save down to his left from Craig Gordon, and then it comes back to Bakasetas and he cuts in on the left foot, and he looks as if from our angle he's going to go far post. He just reverses it with power down below, and it's the worst possible start for us. A brilliantly taken goal, but really poor from Scotland defensively.
Yeah, well, that's the exact opposite of the start that Scotland would have been hoping to make in this game. Greece with the early advantage, and the goal coming on Bakasetas' 80th cap for his country. It's goal number 19 in those appearances, and Scotland need to respond here as Shea Adams is ruled offside as he chased the ball in the left channel, and Greece will have a free kick. But Scotland have got to regain their composure quickly here, Billy, because Greece will have their tails up as a result of that early opener.
Yeah, we all talked at the start of the programme, Mikey, Willie and myself, when we're talking about, be structured, but we have to show that we're willing to get out and get high at times and be a threat, and we were structured, we were okay, but I mean, defensively, when we're structured, we were poor just with a clearance there, and that's done us early in the game. We can still bounce back, but my word, it was such a poor goal to lose. In Greece, they've started the better team, haven't they?
Yeah, and
we know they're a good team.
Solis is looking to make life even more difficult for John Souttar there, as he is fouled by the Scotland defender, and Greece will have a free kick in a handy position out on the left hand side here. Solis, who is part of the Bruges team that battered Rangers in Champions League qualifying, and now on the left hand side they swing the free kick in. It's made well by Shea Adams at the near post. Bakasetas delivered a good ball, but Tsimikas now picks up on the halfway line, being harried and hassled here by Garen Dolt, but fouled by Garen Dolt, the assistant referee over on that far side waving her flag, and it will be a free kick to the home side, who lead by a goal to nil after 9 minutes here in Athens.
I think he's a wee bit unfortunate there. I mean, all he can do is put pressure on Tsimikas. I can't believe he doesn't roll it back earlier, but just maybe try to show what a good player I am, but takes a chance, and I think Brandon Dolt's unlucky.
Yeah, and I think Scotland are a bit unlucky again there. McTominay and Ferguson combining to rob possession. John McGinn gets an early yellow card for dissent as well, for protesting the decision, and that's a silly booking to pick up for such an experienced player. But fortunately he's not one of the players sitting on a yellow, but nonetheless he'll have to play the final 80 minutes of the game on a yellow. And of course any player who picks up a second booking in the campaign will miss the final game against Denmark. So it's Hickey, Gannon Doak and Shea Adams who are the ones on that precipice, as Robertson picks up deep in his own territory, plays it forward. McGinn dummies it but allows Greece to pick up once more. Hanley has to step in and knocks it forward to Adams. Now it's McGinn, closed down by a real handful of Greek players, tries to keep possession, he's bundled to the ground. That's another little bit of a cheap free kick, but Scotland have had a couple against them, so they'll take that one no doubt, and it's a free kick to Scotland midway inside their own half, left hand side, 10 minutes in, and Greece have the advantage here against the Scots, who must avoid defeat, or else they will be playing in the World Cup playoffs rather than have a chance of automatic qualification. Adams bundled to the ground, but no foul on that occasion, and the Spanish referee probably getting that one right, as it's picked up by Retsos at the back, and then he clips it forward looking for the run of Solis. This time Suter judged that one well, heads it down to Ferguson, and McTominay gets out to Hickey, right hand side, midway inside his own half. The stadium just about half full, as the Greek fans somewhat giving up on the fact that they're not going to be challenging for a place at the World Cup, but as I say, no doubt they will be a force to be reckoned with in years to come, given the talent of some of the young players in this squad. It's one of the more experienced ones in Bakasetas, 32 years old now, and not in the original squads I mentioned earlier on, but he was called up when Konstantelias pulled out injured, and straight into the starting 11, and justifying that with the opening goal after just 7 minutes, as Robertson has it and plays it square to Suter, about 20 yards inside his own half, out to Hickey, right hand side on the halfway line. Looks forward but has to come back the way again to Suter, and Suter will in turn play it to his left to Hanley, and once more for Robertson, back into Hanley. Scotland just creeping back the way at the moment. Here's Suter once more out to Ryan Christie, who's just dropped off, and picks up possession, goes through one challenge and then slides it forward for Gannon Doakes. A good ball now. Gannon Doakes on the move, right hand side of the box. Can he look up and get a pass away here? He was just checked slightly, but still has possession. Now it's Christie, edge of the area, looking to manufacture a little bit of room. Then he's dispossessed rather easily by his opposite number, Bakasetas, and Greece will come away, and Solis will chase that, but he won't keep it in. But that was a good position, Billy, and I suppose Gannon Doakes just couldn't quite find a pass to perhaps get the opportunity on goal. Yeah, with numbers forward, I don't think he has to look and make sure there's numbers in the box. I think a little bit of inexperience here. He's in behind the defence. Ryan Christie does well, pokes up the line, he shows that blistering pace. I think it's just a case of put it right across the face of the goal, because the defenders are coming back. Scotland had 3 or 4 in there as well. It's an opportunity lost when Ryan Christie gave away possession at the edge of the box, but Gannon Doak has just got to deliver there, nothing else. Suter gets it to Hickey. Hanley just a moment ago was looking for Gannon Doak to go and just give him a run. He wanted to fire the diagonal over the top, but for whatever reason he decided against it. Ultimately, perhaps Gannon Doak not making the movement he wanted. Here's McTominay. Scotland actually finding a decent bit of possession here after that early blow of losing the goal. They can't let the game plan go entirely out the window as a result of that goal that they've lost inside 7 minutes. Here's Ferguson on the halfway line. Got his first goal for his country in the opposite game last month at Hampden, as McGinn tries to burrow his way beyond Vianidis, and he's on his side a free kick with some tenacious play once more. Maybe he needs to just keep his mouth shut though, John McGinn, because the referee's already shown him the yellow. He's got the free kick, so Andy Robertson here will deliver this from the left hand side, just about 5 yards in from the touchline, right in front of Steve Clarke's technical area, and Scotland throwing Suter and Hanley forward to join the mix here. The free kick pretty much midway inside the Greek half as Robertson prepares to deliver. The skipper on the left hand side, curls it in, looks too close to the keeper, who comes off his line and takes that one pretty comfortably. Not Robertson's best delivery, as Hanley and the keeper come together there. As Hanley makes his way back, keeper goes down momentarily. The referee just tells them both to get on with it, and Vlachodimos rolls it out here to Retsos. We've played almost quarter of an hour. It's Greece 1, Scotland 0 in this crucial World Cup qualifying campaign. Bakasetas drops to the ground under the smallest amount of pressure there from Lewis Ferguson. The referee buys it and gives them the free kick. Didn't seem to be much in that one either.
No, but we do look as if we've settled now. It's 15 minutes played, just over that, and we get spooked. We definitely did. We get caught in between being organised and then not getting up the pitch at times when it was on for us. We have to show an intent, but their goal was well taken, but poor defending from us. And then we get a little passage of play where we have 5-6 passes and we get Gannon Doak down the right hand side. He should have put in a cross, but at least we've settled into the match.
Suter does well there against Pavlidis. I've just noticing that I think when Vlachodimos had the ball, you've got Bakasetas is in a little pocket of space, as you keep pointing out, and Solis as well, and Hanley's not sure should he go and
doesn't like it all.
Go with Bakasetas. Hickey's thinking, do I follow Solis in the park? And it's these little conundrums that Scotland have to solve, and solve quickly.
It's got to happen so quickly. If you decide, whatever they decide, whether it's, if he does go in with a pocket player, then the fullback's narrow. They've got it right away, and Suter's aware of any runners, but it's a dangerous game to play. But just he doesn't like it. It doesn't suit the way that Grant Hanley plays.
Courbelis with a big switch of play out to the left hand side. Gannon Doak keeps an eye on it. Solis though has won it, and he gets it back from Tsimikas, and he goes, good turn of pace from Gannon Doak. Well, I mean, you just see his electrifying pace. It's so noticeable, because I don't think Solis is any slouch, but he made up a good 3 or 4 yards to get back goal side when it looked for an instant that Solis was in. But Hanley's played a terrible back pass to Craig Gordon, which he can't deal with, and it's now behind for a Greek corner, and that's a cheap one to give away, and Scotland can't afford to be as slack as that.
Yeah, suddenly we look nervy again, but good from Gannon Doak. I mean, we want him going forward, but it's so important that he sticks with Solis. If it's him, it does the give and goes down that left hand side, and he has done in nearly every occasion so far, but we need him going up the way as well. Bakasetas
preparing to take the corner kick from the right hand side, left footed, the goal scorer and captain, looking to plot a second here for Greece. Curls it in, good punch from Gordon, back in it comes. Hanley gets ahead to it second time around and gets plenty distance on that, but it's picked up by Muzakitis, who gets it to Tsimikas. Tsimikas curls it in, that's a poor ball from the Roma full-back, and it comes all the way to his former Liverpool teammate Andy Robertson. Robertson comes forward now and then plays a good ball into the midfield for Christie, who immediately fires it out to Gannon Doak, who will try and run here at Tsimikas. Scotland coming forward, getting numbers in support if Gannon Doak can deliver here. A couple of step overs, lays it back to Christie on the edge of the box. Christie then in, away by Koulirakis, picked up by Tsimikas. Koulirakis with a cool ball out from defence, and here come Greece now on the counter, and it's Muzakitis crossing the halfway line. Solis has gone out to the left, cross goes Hickey, Gannon Doak coming back as well, and now Muzakitis, as Greece just take the pace out of that.
I'm glad
counter attack.
I'm glad, because we were pretty open and that they had a chance to attack, but they couldn't get numbers forward, which suited us on that occasion.
Here's Retsos out to the right hand side for Vayanidis, well advanced the full-back as McGinn faces him up. Vayanidis about 25 yards from goal, into the feet of Solis. Solis gets the 1-2, Solis gets the shot away, another terrific save from Gordon. Still in play, Vayanidis picks up on the right hand side of the box. No rustiness so far from Craig Gordon, but here's Karetsas, he'll try and shape one, and it's defended well there by John Suter. He got a block in importantly with Pavlidis just in front of him. That could have gone anywhere, but it was a good solid header in the end from Suter to clear the danger. Greece pick up once more and get it out to the right hand side to Vayanidis. Scotland living dangerously here as Vayanidis touches it back to Bakasetas. Now Pavlidis with his back to goal, midway inside the Scotland half. Bakasetas once more out to the right hand side for Karetsas, picks a lovely little pass for Pavlidis, 3-1 challenge, spins away, shot saved again. Solis with a second shot, and that's gone wide. Scotland are really walking a tightrope here, already 1 goal down, and but for Craig Gordon it could already be 2 or 3.
He's been magnificent so far. Sorry, I don't want to keep saying that all night either. Craig Gordon, everything we thought at Hampden is happening again. I mean, we looked terrified at times, soulless two occasions, and getting shots away, and brilliant block, even the first one from Craig Gordon's strong arm to his left hand side. Then again he's got to make a double save. They just enjoy getting in those little spaces in front of your back four, and we don't seem to handle it very well.
Great Sauce just misjudged the ball forward there, but Adams couldn't keep it, and Greece pick up once more. We're play 20 almost. It's Greece 1, Scotland 0, but Greece, as they have been in most of their meetings this year already, this being the fourth, they're in charge, they're on top, they look the better side, they look the more confident side, and Scotland chasing shadows to some extent. As you listen to our commentary here on Sportsound on BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Live, as Greece with nothing to play for other than pride, and maybe looking for a bit of revenge after that smash and grab that Scotland executed at Hampden, looking to make it 2 wins apiece this year. As Karetsas picks up, Robertson has decided to stay back with Vayanidis. Karetsas advances, now it is Vayanidis into Bakasetas, coming up towards the edge of the Scotland box, gets it back from Muzakitis out to the right hand side to Karetsas, up against McGinn here, tries to sell him the dummy, McGinn doesn't buy it, sticks the left boot out and knocks it out of play. 21 played, Greece 1, Scotland 0.
Yeah, I mean, that move started from Vayanidis getting high, and Robertson was wanting to go with Karestas, but he can't, because nobody comes back with Vayanidis, so he has to sit in his line, and suddenly it just clipped into Karestas, and they're at us again.
Yeah, it's Pavlidis picking up at the edge of the box, and now picked up by Kouliarakis. He just tries to lift it over Aaron Hickey there. Hickey does well to get something on that and prevent it getting through to a Greek teammate of Kouliarakis, and then Adams is taken out there as he tried to hold up play, and it'll be a Scotland free kick midway inside their own half. And really, we said they'd settled there for a spell, Billy, but they really have been second best here.
Yeah, especially when they get comfortable possession just in front of us, and they're good players. And Solis, we talked about him in the space in front of that back four, and I mean, shot after shot, move little pass after little pass to create the areas, and then they're getting shots on target, and Craig Gordon has had to be his best to keep the scoreline down so far.
Sure has. Vastly experienced goalkeeper, him and John McGinn are both in the same number of caps, and they both move on to 82 tonight, as Garen Doak can't bring the ball under control out on the right hand side as we approach the midway point in this first period, a first period that has been dominated by the home side. And Vlachodimos picks up possession. They do have the 1 goal advantage that they certainly deserve at this stage. Vayanidis trying to come forwards, then he knocks it back to Vretsos, he plays it forward, Hanley wins the header well against Bakasetas. Karetsas was in a absolute acre of space there. Andy Robertson just moving forward, but fortunately for Scotland the ball wasn't played forward to him. Now they've worked it down the left hand side. Pavlidis will give chase, but he won't get there before Craig Gordon, who comes off his line right to the edge of his box, and he dives in that, and then promptly gets up and rolls it into Lewis Ferguson for Hanley. And now Christie playing in that central midfield role in which he operates and has done for some time for Bournemouth. A bit more of a novelty for him for Scotland. Hasn't been starting a lot of games actually this season, Ryan Christie, for his club side, certainly in the English Premier League. On the last 5, just 1 start in the English top flight, as Hanley plays it short to Suter just inside his own half. He plays it to his right to Aaron Hickey, who happily has made his comeback, having been injured in that last meeting with Greece. And Scotland have the ball at the back. We've played almost 24 minutes. They trail by a goal to nil, scored by Anastasios Bakasetas, the Greek captain, inside 7 minutes. Initial mistake from Suter. Looked like Craig Gordon had bailed him out big time with a really good save, but Bakasetas picked up the rebound and managed to fire through a little bit of a ruck of Scotland players at the edge of the box and beat Craig Gordon second time around, as Christie plays a good ball over the top here for Robertson to chase, tries to play it in first time, and he just lost his footing as he tried to do so, and the ball bounces behind for a Greek goal kick.
Yeah, but I think we've got to show them that, Al, that we're going to build from the back, but we're going to try and get beyond them at times. And Andy Robertson takes off. It's a decent clip, but he get leaned on just as he was going to cross it by Vagianidis, and can he put him off? But it's a better run from us. It shows intent. It shows that we're not just going to try and make 5-6 passes to get into areas. We're just at times going to turn them and get runners beyond.
Just to clarify the earlier booking, I was pretty certain it was flashed at John McGinn, although he wasn't involved in the initial incident. Looked like it was shown to him for a bit of dissent, but the official UEFA screen we have in front of us is saying that it was Lewis Ferguson who picked up the yellow. He was, of course, suspended for the last game, so he's not sitting on a yellow either. I still wonder if that might yet be corrected, but anyway. 1-0 Greece in the 26th minute here, and here they come once more through Vagianidis, right hand side of the box, tries to cut it back, and in the way was Andy Robertson. He knocks it behind for another Greek corner, and Scotland, well, they certainly can't afford to lose a second in this first period, or it would be an absolute mountain to climb to get that point they need to set up a massive game against Denmark on Tuesday.
Shows you though, we're talking about Gannon Dalton that side, make sure he stays with his man. John McGinn at times has got to make sure he stays with Vagianidis, because at times he's not, and then twice they've got forward down that right hand side and caused us problems.
Bakasetas has the glancing header, another brilliant save from Craig Gordon. It was Retsos who met it at the near post. My goodness, Craig Gordon is rolling back the gears here with an absolute vintage performance to keep Scotland in the game.
Yeah, it's another good stop. He has to get down low. I mean, he probably sees it a little bit late, because once it's flicked at that front post, he's got to react late. Gets another strong hand to it, and it's another let-off for Scotland. We could have been well behind even this early in the game.
That's for another curling corner, met at the near post this time by Adams, but the referee spotted something in any case and gives the free kick to Scotland. But I mean, I think that's about 4 really top-notch saves already in this game by Craig Gordon to keep the scoreline at 1-0.
Yeah, there's a little block in the front area as well, and that frees him up. But it's a good header, and it's a save he should be making. But it's another fine stop from Craig Gordon. I mean, it's not his best of the night. He's done a couple of brilliant saves so far in the match.
Yeah, Scotland have been pretty blunt so far in this game, struggling to put together any meaningful phases of play to threaten Greece at all. Scott McTominay's trying to press there, but we've barely seen him in the game as the ball goes back to Vlachodimos, the goalkeeper, and he launches it this time over the halfway line. It's a good contest, that one, between Pavlidis. Oh, it's a mistake by Robertson. Corrects us into the area, stands up to the back post. Solis makes it on the left foot, didn't get a clean connection, fortunately for Scotland. That's an easier take for Craig Gordon, but Scotland at 6s and 7s at times at the back, and it's still Greece 1, Scotland 0.
Yeah, sort of loses the header to Pavlidis, but he reads it well, Carestas. Andy Robertson looks as if he's going to play it back and then turn out in the last minute, but Carestas reads it and he picks out a wonderful cross. We're just lucky that, was it Solis, you said, just didn't connect with it.
Yeah, and you would usually expect him to, although he's a player who likes to come in on the right foot from the left hand side, the opposite of what Carestas does on this right flank. But nonetheless, a player of his quality, you feel that he would have been able to provide a bigger test for Craig Gordon, but it wasn't to be. So with 28 on the clock, it's still 1-0 Greece, and Scotland raised their game here and managed to find an equaliser. It's Vagianidis out to the right hand side. 1-0 Denmark against Belarus. Incidentally, I think most of us consider that to be a bit of a fait accompli, that result, but only 1-0 in the opening just under half an hour. You would absolutely expect the Danes to go on and clinch the victory there, and they will remain top of the group as a result, as Carestas has it right hand side. He's got too much on that cross, and it's swung all the way out on the far side and behind for a goal kick, and he looks a little bit disappointed with himself, as he probably should be. We're just having another look at the goal here. Suter misjudging the long ball forward. Pavlidis denied by a terrific save from Craig Gordon, but there was Bakasetas on the follow-up to rifle it low. No chance for Craig Gordon second time around there, Billy.
Oh no, I mean, for that angle, Bakasetas looks all day long. He's just got to bend it for the far post and then just reverses it with power, so there's no chance for Craig Gordon on that occasion. It was just poor defending, and the run, I think it was Karestas as well, takes the two defenders away and just gives Pavlidis the chance to go and take the right foot shot to start with as well. They look, I don't know if you get the feeling in here, they look as if they want to give us a bit of payback here.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the feeling I'm getting.
Totally, yeah. They're also playing with a real abandon almost. As a fate. Well, if Lewis Ferguson has already been booked and he's off here, but well, he's been booked, and that is so fortunate. Right, yeah, I was fairly certain it was McGinn earlier, and Ferguson has now been booked for a, what would you call it, a handoff almost for Pavlidis there. I think a yellow card is probably the right decision, nothing more than that.
For the first time, I'm glad you were correct.
So Ferguson is in the book now, as is John McGinn, and hopefully our friends at UEFA will amend their monitor accordingly. As Greece quickly take the free kick, and it's out on the left hand side. It's a poor ball, but Pavlidis has initially won it, but good pressure there from Christie. It doesn't quite break for Scotland, and well, we've had good fortune in a couple of the last games, but it's not really going Scotland's way at all this evening. Greece making their own luck here though. The 1-goal lead, half an hour in, as Bakasetas rolls it back the way to Retsos on the halfway line, plays it short to Kouliarakis, 21-year-old centre back, currently in the Bundesliga with Wolfsburg, but I think he's got another big move on him fairly imminently. Another one that's very highly rated in this Greek setup as Pavlidis lays it out to Solis, left hand side, early ball back in, Pavlidis on the stretch sends it just wide, and another let off for Scotland. Pavlidis just couldn't stretch that big right leg far enough to get it back on goal, and it could quite easily have been number 2 for Greece. Pavlidis, who's so prolific with Benfica, hasn't quite found that same goal scoring touch with his country, but that was almost number 11 in his 53rd cap tonight. But it does remain Greece 1, Scotland 0.
Let off after let off. I mean, it's brilliant movement from the two of them again, and good awareness. And once it's released to Solis in that left hand side, he just uses his skid on the surface just to bend it. Luckily for us, it's just gone a bit beyond that back post, and Pavlidis can't get a boot round it to angle it back in just to hit the target, or they probably go 2-0 up. But my word, what a let off again. I mean, they just rip us wide open, don't they?
Yeah, it's all too easy, isn't it, at the moment, as Suter goes back and heads that one back to his goalkeeper. And Scotland clinging on by their fingertips at the moment to just the 1-goal deficit. They need to try and become more of a threat themselves here. While it's just 1-0, you have to say they are still very much in the game, as Aaron Hickey hasn't been able to get himself forward at all virtually. Plays it back the way to Hanley, just on the edge of his own penalty area. McTominay's come exceptionally deep to try and pick up possession and try and begin something for Scotland. Now it's Suter up towards the centre circle here. Just about 12 minutes of the first half left. Greece 1, Scotland 0. More than deserved. Probably should be further ahead, and they would be but for the excellence of veteran goalkeeper Craig Gordon, who's clearly kept himself so fit and fresh and focused while being, well, certainly since returning to fitness at Hearts and playing second fiddle just at the moment. Throw into Scotland in a pretty advanced area. It's a while since we've been this far up the park, about 25 yards perhaps from the corner flag. Andy Robertson stealing a few yards and being allowed to do so at the moment by the Spanish referee. Left hand side, gets it into McGinn. That's a clever ball back. Now it's Robertson into the area, and that could have got anywhere off Retsos, as it is behind for a corner. But as he stretched out the right leg, it could have deflected past the goalkeeper, but fortunately for him it deflected past the post. But that's good interchange there between McGinn and Robertson for sure, and the final ball from Robertson just cut out unfortunately by the Greek defence.
Yeah, and if he doesn't, I'm sure that Shea Adams scores. Yeah, you're right to point that out. Just a basic throw in, Robertson throws it in, goes, and then McGinn just versus a lovely little ball in the left to him. And if it gets beyond Retsos, I'm sure that, as I said, we equalise. But anyway, it was good defending in the end.
Christie from the left hand side with the out swinging corner by the looks of it. near post ball, it's just wide. Well, it's actually gone well wide, but it looked like it was going to just take a nick. It's actually going to go out for another corner. I thought Adams had just glanced that in, but at the near post, but the recovering challenge was a vital one, and takes it behind for another corner. This time it's going to be taken by Lewis Ferguson from the same side, but right-footed.
Planned all that last one, changing corner kick takers, nearly got away with that dummy at the front post.
Yeah, almost came off for Scotland as he searched for an equaliser. Suter and one of the Greek defenders jostling away at the back post. Suter gets his head to it. Did it come off the Greek defender last? Yes, it did. To the referee, and it'll be a corner this time on the right-hand side for Scotland. The best spell of the game by some stretch, with 35 minutes played, and a 1-goal lead for the Greeks, given to them by Bakasetas after just 7 minutes. So corner kick this time on the far side, and that's McGinn who's gone across to take it, left-footed. It'll be the in-swinger to the near post, glanced on by Ferguson. Again, it's repelled by the Greek defence. Comes back out to McGinn, right-hand side, looking to get the cross back in. Stands up to the back post. Hanley helps it back into the 6-yard box, but that's cleared away, and Greece can try and come forward here. Robertson's underneath it though, sends it back in. There's a Greek player down. Keeper's come off his line. The referee, well, eventually he's going to stop play. There's a head knock in there, and it will be, I think, ultimately a throw into Scotland, perhaps a drop ball in their favour, but there's going to be some treatment required there for the prone Greek defender inside his own penalty area. 36 minutes on the clock. Greece 1, Scotland 0.
It was better. You talked about it just from that throw in. We got a bit of pressure, 3 corner kicks, and I'll tell you what, we were unlucky in that occasion because Suter was working with Lewis Ferguson, and a little block freed up Ferguson. He gets a skiff at the front post but can't direct on target. But it's another well worked set piece. It might give us some confidence in the game that we can create something, we can get back in the game with a goal. But let's be honest, we've been lucky so far that we're still get the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, definitely lucky to still be just the goal behind, just as well as a break in play. Let me tell you that coming up after the programme tonight on BBC Radio Scotland, you've got an off the ball special, and on 5 Live at the end of the match, commentary of one of the most anticipated British rematches in the world of boxing, as Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn meet again. That will follow us on 5 Live. It's Bakasetas who's the player who's been receiving treatment, and he's now back on his feet, and will have to go off after having had that little bit of treatment. The referee, I hope he's not going to give the drop ball to Greece, because it's certainly going to be a Scotland ball, and the referee's explaining something to Andy Robertson, who doesn't look delighted by what he's hearing. But I mean, the rules change now that it's not the last team that touched the ball. If it's going to be a drop ball, it's the team who are going to pick up possession, and it was absolutely going out for a throw into Scotland. So surely, if it's a drop ball, it should be a Scotland drop ball.
It's exactly what Andy Robertson's explaining. Stevie Naismith having a demonstration with the 4th official for exactly that as well. I mean, Shea Adams now, the Scotland players can't quite understand that.
Well, maybe that new change to the law hasn't quite reached Spanish officialdom, because it's given it straight to Vlachodimos, who plies his trade in La Liga with Sevilla, and he is just putting the ball down and then launching it over the halfway line. Greece leading by a goal to nil with 7 minutes of this first half left to play. Pavlidis can't do anything with the ball. It was poked in his direction, and Scotland pick up as Hickey slides it forward. Gannon Doka just checked his run there, and
he's got to go earlier now.
Yeah,
I mean, he's away, he's got 2 yards. Gannon Doka, we know how quick he is. Just roll him and try and slip up the outside of the defender, but he doesn't. He ends up like delaying it, and then, as you say, Gannon Doka checks back.
It's another foul by Ferguson, this time on Bakasetas, and he's just got to be careful. Pavlidis is down, injured inside the Scotland half. The referee has either not noticed or isn't bothered, and now he's signalled to stop play, and the Scotland fans voicing their displeasure away to our right hand side, and Pavlidis looks like he's going to need some treatment. So
I think he's in trouble. Yeah, looks as if
there was a little challenge there. He tried to just bring the ball in, and just get another look at it there. Actually, there's no real contact between him and Suter, is there? But it seemed to be in that incident that he went down. so we'll see if he's able to continue. Certainly started the game well alongside the other Greece attackers. Very tricky quartet to deal with. Solis, Bakasetas and Karetsas in behind Pavlidis. They've tormented that Scotland backline at times this evening, but they have got just the one goal to show for their dominance.
I wonder if it's maybe time, right? I'm not sure he'll do that, because this is 2 games now with the same team at Hampden, and they have given us a hard time in both, and probably should have won the game at Hampden but didn't, and then they've come here tonight against the exact same team we've played again, and they're doing the same to us. They're moving us about, we don't know how to handle it. They could have been 2, 3, 4 goals up. I wonder if it's time maybe just to have a tweak somewhere, and I wonder if he's thinking about doing something like that at half time. Stevie Clark,
what any suggestions as well? I mean, how do you deal with the quality and the movement of the show?
I would be forcing one of my centre halves to make sure that they're always taking a step forward when players are in the pockets. You could have a change of system and go back to the Denmark one. We try to get 2 strikers and going a bit more longer, but we build from the back at times. There's a few things you can do. There's one thing that I'm over the 2 games that I'm thinking about now is I think we've got to change something, because this team, or this starting 10 outfield players, they're not capable of holding on against this team. They're doing well.
Yeah, Ganondok's got to do some defending here again against Samikas, who's got himself forward on the left hand side. 4 minutes to the break, 1-0 Greece lead from Hampden since the 7th minute, as Samikas does well down that left hand side. Good challenge though by Hickey, played it off Samikas as well. Actually, he's got the throw in deep in his own territory, the young Brentford fullback. And back on comes Pavlidis, to a few more boos from the Scotland fans, seemingly running freely after that little bit of treatment. Played forward by Scotland. Shea Adams, who's, as he so often does, ploughing that lone furrow, and certainly does a whole lot of running, often for very little gain, it would appear. It's been rewarded in recent times with a good number of goals for Scotland, as Shea Adams. As the ball goes back to Vlachodimos with 42 on the clock. 1-0 to Greece here in Athens, as Retsos now begins to bring it forward. Pavlidis has gone down again.
He's done, I think.
The ball's just going to be knocked out of play this time. I mean, he's got to be done, hasn't he? I mean, he went down off the ball. He seemed to have come on okay. He was running pretty freely, but limping off again now, and that will presumably force the Greeks into a change. They're already out without Ioannidis, who pulled out the squad injured, hence Pavlidis being the first pick tonight up front. But interesting to see what they do now. They've got a couple of Andreas Teti, if it is going to be Andreas Teti to make his Greek debut. Well, he's clearly popular in these parts, and he's going to come on for his debut. I'm pretty sure this is the first time he's been in the squad at all, and on he comes late in the first period to make his international bow at the age of 24. He's scored 6 goals in his 12 games for Kefisia in the Greek League this season, and well, let's see if he can make a name for himself. But certainly that's their first top 2 strikers they're without now, the Greek side, so hopefully Scotland can benefit from that, as Mouzakitis picks up in the middle of the park. Can't get it beyond Ganondok though. Here's Christie on this halfway line, rolls it into the feet of McGinn. McGinn helps it on to Robertson left hand side. He goes back the way to Hanley. Now Ferguson in the centre circle for Suter. Hanley once more plays it on to Ryan Christie. Just over a minute left of the 45, plus a wee bit of added on time certainly. Christie picks up once more, early ball into the box, easily dealt with though by the Greek defence, and Teti hasn't quite managed to keep that in play. He's actually already agreed a move in January to Panathinaikos. Maybe it was the Panathinaikos fans who were cheering him as he came on there. Scotland have it. It's It's been a slightly better period. You feel they haven't been under that incessant pressure in maybe the last 10 or 15 minutes, but the opening half hour, well, it was just wave after wave of Greek attack. One of those brought a goal. Craig Gordon forced into numerous good saves to deny them any further. Can Scotland somehow find a leveller before half time? Here's McTominay getting on the ball. Not said that too often in the game. Out on the right hand side, feeds Gannon Doak. Gannon Doak up against Tsimikas, up to the angle of the box, into McTominay, tries to go for the return, but he's blocked off by Tsimikas, and Greece pick up, and Tsimikas completes the clearance up to the halfway line. 4 minutes added on at the end of this first period, and we're into those now as Robertson gets it to him again, left hand side. Christie goes ahead of him, into Adams instead for McTominay, off the bar. So unlucky for Scott McTominay. Scotland's best move of the game by some distance, and McTominay just inches away from finishing it off in style. I thought he could have taken a touch, but he took it beautifully on the left foot, beats Vlachodimos, all ends up, but it crashes off the crossbar.
Oh my word, for all the efforts against us, and we should be goals behind, that would have been an unbelievably brilliant goal. I mean, all round, the pass inside, the dummy from Shea Adams, and then the connection from Scott McTominay was brilliant. It just crashes off the bar.
Hanley's giving it away. Tetty picks up out to the left hand side to Solis. Scotland backpedaling. Solis just stands on the ball accidentally. Still he's got it. Hickey blocks the shot. Robertson completes the clearance, and up towards Adams it goes. Scotland within inches just a moment ago of finding an equaliser. It wouldn't have been deserved, but would certainly have taken it as McGinn now burrows forward in traditional Joe McGinn style out to the left hand side. McTominay might just have been offside, but play continues and the flag stays down for now at least. Into Ferguson. Ferguson goes back the way to the edge of the centre circle to Suter. Now Hickey, right hand side, forward for Gannon Doak. He's isolated Tsimikas here if he can try and take him on. Mouzakitis now going back to cover as Gannon Doak tries to go one way then the other. It's closed down, but he does get the ball back to Hickey. Hickey on the left foot here looking to cross this one in. Shea Adams onto the side netting. Another big chance in these closing stages of the first half. Just too tight an angle for Shea Adams to be able to get that on target, and it remains Greece 1, Scotland 0.
I think he should score. I think he should do better. It's a brilliant ball under Hickey. I'm saying deliver earlier, but my word, he waits his time and puts it in a brilliant area. I'm not sure if McTominay gets a flick. I think he's got to do better and get that angled into the net and maybe hit the post, maybe take a sore one. I think he might have had one eye in the post, Shea Adams, but what a chance. Again, that's two chances in the last minute or so to get right back in this match.
Well, at least signs for positivity perhaps to take into the second half, even if they didn't bring a goal as perhaps they should have in these closing stages of the first period. McGinn plays it off Ioannidis, and he's looking for a run ahead of him. It didn't come, but he's got a throw in here. McTominay wants to take it, but he's going to leave it to Robertson, who's going to be pulled back a few yards, and then he goes back the way to Hanley. We've got about a minute or so left of the 4 added on for stoppages. Greece 1, Scotland 0, but Scotland enjoying the best period of the game in the last few minutes. Crashing the crossbar through Scott McTominay, and then Adams narrowly wide with a header from a tight angle, but I think ultimately I would have to agree, Billy, that probably should be getting the header back on target. Here's Hickey just inside his own half, right hand side, steps forward, then tries to clip it for Gannon Doak. Tsimikas though steps across and just rolls that back to his goalkeeper Vlachodimos. He plays it out towards this right hand side looking for Karetsas, beaten in the jump by Robertson, but it's picked up by Bakasetas. He'll try and tease it forward for Karetsas. Robertson with a good interception, and Scotland pick up once more, maybe one last opportunity here. It's Gannon Doak with a chance for the equaliser. Brilliant save, Vlachodimos behind for a corner. Oh, it's another huge chance for Scotland to get the equaliser, but Gannon Doak, having done everything right, could not beat the big goalkeeper, and is behind for a Scotland corner. 1-0 Greece.
That's a great take as well once it's played into him. Shea Adams makes Tsimikas stay because he thinks that Shea Adams is maybe going to run and Gannon Doak's going to dummy. He takes a brilliant touch, it frees him up, it lets him open back onto his right hand side, just needs to maybe to lift it, but it's a brilliant save.
Ferguson's corner to the back post, Suter rises, gets it back across goal, but only into the arms of Vlachodimos, and the referee blows the whistle to end the first period. Well, it's been fascinating, you'd have to say. Greece, a goal to the good after just 7 minutes when Bakasetas finished off on the rebound after Craig Gordon produced the first of numerous excellent saves in the first half, denying Pavlidis initially, but there was Bakasetas to finish it off on the rebound and give Greece the advantage. Then it was Gordon against Greece for the next 25 minutes or so as he pulled off save after save to keep Scotland in the game. And then somehow, just as we approached half-time, Scotland came into it. McTominay hit the crossbar with a wonderful effort from the edge of the box. Shea Adams headed one by from a tight angle, but a good opportunity just wide of the post. And then just in the last minute there, Ben Gannon-Doak played in but denied ultimately by Vlachodimos to make the half-time scoreline in Athens. Greece 1, Scotland 0.
Thank you to Alice Lamont and Billy Dodds. We'll be back in Greece for second half commentary shortly. Coming up, we'll be in Albania for England's final World Cup qualifier, and we'll also be continuing our build-up to the rematch between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That's all to come after the latest BBC News on 5 Live with Al Tansley.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
President Trump has said he'll speak to Sir Keir Starmer this weekend after announcing he'll sue the BBC for up to $5 billion over a misleading edit of one of his speeches. The corporation has apologised but refused to pay any compensation. This evening, a BBC spokesperson has said its position remains the same. Emergency services are continuing to respond to flooding in Monmouth caused by Storm Claudia. South Wales Fire and Rescue Service says it's been carrying out rescues, evacuations, welfare checks and moving residents. A woman has died on a kayaking trip in County Durham. Emergency services were involved in a major search of the River Tees at Barnard Castle before the body of a 20-year-old woman was recovered this afternoon. And 4 people have been arrested after police officers were assaulted during rival protests in Bristol. An anti-immigration protest was organised in the Redcliffe area of the city. Avon and Somerset police criticised some counter-protesters who it said were seemingly intent on causing disorder.
2 famous surnames, one of the great rivalries in the history of British boxing.
Solid right hand in front, Conor Benn. Now it's Chris Eubank Jr. on the front foot.
After their explosive fight in April, Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn meet again in a blockbuster rematch.
The fight itself went beyond all of our expectations.
Both of them swinging from the rooftops. It was an absolute brawl.
Hear ringside commentary live from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium tonight from 10 on 5 Live. And get all the build-up and analysis with the 5 Live Boxing Podcast. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sports.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Yes, good evening. I'm Stacey Copeland, live from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We will be back for second half commentary here shortly of Greece 1, Scotland 0 as it is at the halfway stage. And that will be followed here on 5 Live with the rematch between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. You can listen to the undercard right now over on Sports Extra, and I'll be chatting to Steve Bunce here shortly. But let's look ahead now as England face Albania in their final World Cup qualifier tomorrow. Kick-off is at 5 o'clock on 5 Live. England have won all 7 games so far without conceding, but Thomas Tuchel is expecting a difficult match.
They are themselves very hard to break down. It's very difficult to create chances. They only conceded 3 goals, 2 from us, and then only 1 more in all other matches. So that will be the target. I think we will be in control of the match, but we need to be also in control of their counterattacks. And maybe the most difficult thing is from the control to create chances. And once we have chances, I think we have a high possibility to score.
And is it a strong motivation for the squad to make it 8 wins out of 8 and to keep that final clean sheet? Yeah,
if you the training session yesterday on one day after the match was on highest level in terms of spirit and quality and motivation. So everyone is desperate to play. Everyone wants a starting position in the match, which is not possible. But yeah, everyone, this is a good feeling at the moment. We're doing it for the right reasons. Of course, in the end, we were hoping for another win. But in the moment, we are very much in the process, and we just want to have the feeling we just want it for the performance itself and not only for the result. The result is then takes care of itself. And first of all, we need to step up, and there is no need not to trust them.
You will obviously have to make a change.
Yep.
Are you minded to make a number of changes, or are you more minded to go with the players who have got England to this point?
Both, but I also accept the fatigue and the mental fatigue at this time. It's also nice to have, like I said, yesterday's training was on such high level that all of them deserve to start. But sometimes if you do a lot of changes, it's also a little bit unfair to the ones who come in, because they don't, then you don't show up in a solid structure. You suddenly have 6, 7, 8 changes, so everything is new. Then it's a little bit unfair to judge them. So maybe a mixture of the both, because we are aware that some of the players have come with a lot of matches in their legs, and it was now a very tight camp with only 2 days in between. So yeah, it could make sense, but the decision is not taken yet. We have a lot of scenarios in our head, and we'll take the last decision tomorrow morning.
Well, correspondent John Murray spoke to Thomas Tuchel and is with us now live from Albania. Evening, John. Pressure.
Yes, hello, Stacey.
Pressure on England, John, to keep the perfect record.
Yes, and I think that that's very much in their minds, to make it 8 wins out of 8, and if they can, to go through a qualifying campaign without conceding a single goal. Now, that would be a rare feat indeed, and I think as well, as Harry Kane was saying to me a little earlier this evening as well, you know, it's the sort of thing that makes everyone else sit up and take notice. But I think more important than that is the what he calls the process. Thomas Tuchel sticking to the process, making the process stronger, that being the way that they've played to get themselves to this point. So I don't know, I think it probably will be a case that you might see 3, 4 changes, maybe something like that, and he is conscious that I think all of the outfield players who started on Thursday night are involved in European football, and also it's been quite a quick turnaround in this international window for England from Thursday until Sunday, so that's a factor as well. So we'll find out tomorrow night.
And what might be another important factor, John, is no Ezri Konsa. I mean, how much of a blow could that be for England?
Well, it's certainly, I think it's a blow for Ezri Konsa, obviously, because it would be another opportunity, another match for him to play, and he's become quite an important figure on the quiet for England over the course of the last couple of years. I think it might mean that the logical thought would be that Dan Burn would be the most likely to step in, but that might mean an opportunity for Jarell Quansah, who has yet to make his England debut, or Trevor Chalobah of Chelsea, who I know Thomas Tuchel likes and has been recalled to the squad this month. And I think the other point of interest tomorrow will be those players who came on and made an impact, and I'm thinking most particularly Phil Foden, Eberechi Eze, Jude Bellingham, of course. I mean, Jordan Henderson and Adam Wharton came on as well, but whether any of those players will get a starting place in this match here in Albania.
Now, Paul Robinson spoke on Thursday night about how we hadn't learned too much from the performance against Serbia. What then will Thomas Tuchel want to learn from tomorrow, do you think, John?
I think it's just building those relationships, and if he does make those changes, then to see how those players are going to fit into what I've described as the process, because it's been quite settled. That midfield three that England have played of Rice and Anderson and Rodgers, they've fitted together very, very nicely indeed. So if he is going to have to make a change in there, or he does choose to make a change, to see how it works with, if it is Bellingham who comes in there, maybe Adam Wharton might get the opportunity to start, because Elliot Anderson, Thomas Tuchel was saying to us that they need to take care of him, which seemed to indicate to me that maybe this is one that he won't start. So what he'll be looking for is to see if they still have the intensity and the relationships that they've built up over the course of the last 3 or 4 matches.
Thank you very much, John. That's England, Albania in their final World Cup qualifier tomorrow. Kick-off at 5 o'clock on 5 Live. Second half commentary on the way of Greece and Scotland. Greece leading 1-0 at this halfway stage. And of course, later, after that, Chris Eubank Jr. against Conor Benn. 5 Live's Steve Bunce is back with me. Star-studded at ringside, Bunce. Mason Mount, Rod Stewart, Emma Bunton, Piers Brosnan, Jason Statham. It's a list of who's who. But interestingly, on the arrivals tonight, Conor Benn received a huge cheer when he showed up on the screen. Eubank, mixed reaction.
Well, Eubank got out of the car first and it came up on the big screens. He got out of the car first and there was a bit of a mixed reaction. Then his father got out and it was noticeably louder, noticeably more loving. And then Conor was seen with his father Nigel in the background, and that was a boost. Now that was different back in April because the stadium had already cheered the two boxers as they arrived, and 30 or 40 minutes later we got the clip, that epic clip of Chris Eubank Sr. jumping out of that car and his son greeting him and them having a big embrace, a proper dad and son embrace. And that cheer was a very different cheer to what we heard tonight.
They've both been talking about this one being more business-like than the emotional affair that we had first time round. Speaking of business, you always say you reserve the right to change your prediction or your gut instinct right up until the ring walk. Is there anything in the air tonight that's given you an inkling either way?
No, listen, I sat with them on Monday for 10 minutes, which we used on the pod and we used on the live shows. I was with them again on Tuesday, with them on Wednesday, got close to them on Thursday, close again on Friday. And I've seen them today. I've only seen them on the screen. I actually did see Conor in his car because he went to the wrong place and he was stuck there. So I did get a glimpse of him in the back of the car. They're not giving anything away. Now, we know Chris Eubank Jr. plays a good poker hand. I'm not sure Conor Benn does. They are giving nothing away. However, I do have someone that's in one of the dressing rooms and he will let me know if there's any sign. But from what I've seen, these two are playing it really cool. They are absolutely strictly business, absolute business. And I still think, Stace, that makes a really good fight. I'm convinced that makes a good fight.
What type of fight, though? Because that's been one of the questions, Bunce, hasn't it? Whether it'll be round 13, in other words, a continuation of what we saw in April, or a very, very different tactical matchup.
Well, I'll say what I said on radio this morning at 8 o'clock in about half an hour with you. I don't think we'll get round 13 in the opening round tonight, but we might get it by about round 4 or 5 tonight. I'm convinced both of them will start smarter, will start displaying a little bit more ring intelligence, and that's why I'm convinced this fight will be harder to score, assuming it goes to 12 rounds, and I believe it does go to 12 rounds. If it goes to 12 rounds and it's hard to score, these first 2 or 3 or 4 rounds could be crucial, because they could be the rounds that are open to interpretation. The first fight went 12 torrid rounds. Every round was fought to the end, but nobody complained of it being 8-4 in favour of Eubank Jr., including, of course, the Conor Benn camp. No one complained. Tonight, I'm still convinced. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, because the fight itself will be superb enough. I've just got a feeling tonight there might be some controversy attached. And by the way, people have been saying to me all week, you know what, they're not doing any tickets. Well, I tell you what, if not doing any tickets means about 62,000, yeah, they're not doing any tickets. Look at this place, Stace.
It is incredible, and it's quite the spectacle, isn't it? I mean, it is already full. We've got Jack Catterall and Echo Esserman underway now. It's been a really impressive undercard as well, Bunsey.
There's been lots of stuff on the undercard I've enjoyed, particularly Adam Azim, the young 23-year-old unbeaten from Slough, fought tonight like a seasoned man. More of him to come.
Absolutely, yeah, a really breakout performance, and perhaps a big 2026 to come for him. But it is all about Eubank and Benn. It is the rematch, and of course it's been a little bit different in the build-up. There was no egg slap this time, but both dads involved all the way through. They even had a face-off at one point, which got their people's heckles up and the hairs on the back of your neck. So we're in for another amazing spectacle this evening, and it is quite the atmosphere building here at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Plenty to come. Commentary of Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn here after the second half of Greece 1, Scotland 0. Let's rejoin the commentary team of Billy Dodds, and first, Alistair Lamont.
Welcome back to Stadio Georgios Karaiskas as Greece return to the field of play. Scotland already out there waiting on them. And Scotland looking to, at the very least, get themselves a leveller in this second half and take the point. That would mean that on Tuesday night they and Denmark will go all out for the victory. Well, certainly Scotland will need the victory. A draw at Hampden would be enough for the Danes, who have a far superior goal difference. The referee just having a quick chat with Andy Robertson here before the start of this second period. But it will be Scotland to get us back underway, going from left to right as we look at it from the middle of the centre stand here, as Shea Adams prepares to get us off and running once more. Plays it short back to Lewis Ferguson and all the way back to John Souttar, who clips that one forward, and that's won by Retsos. Picked up though by Ferguson, and now Robertson tries to link again with McGinn. It looked like it went straight out. Yeah, the referee's given that to Greece, which I think is the correct decision despite the claims of the Scotland players. So throw into Greece out in the far side. Looked like a foul throw as well, but that's not given, as Vagianidis gets it to Karetsas, who is robbed by McTominay, and the referee gives Greece the free kick. McTominay not happy. There's been a number of free kicks, Billy, and I mean, it's not altogether surprising. I think that probably is a foul, but there have been quite a few that have been given when there's very little contact.
Yeah, the Scotland fans are not happy away to our right hand side, and for some you can understand, but I think you're right there with that one, Al. I think McTominay just catches him.
Out it goes to Vagianidis, right hand side for Greece, into Solis, and out it goes now with Karetsas on the right hand side for Greece. Midway inside the Scotland half, infield to Bakasetas, the man whose goal separates the sides. Now played forward by Mouzakitis, but given away by the substitute Tete, and Scotland can come forward here, and it's McGinn firing it from left to right. A brilliant ball for Gannon Doak on the right hand side of the penalty area now. Gannon Doak into the box he comes, tries to roll it back to Scott McTominay. Good covering from Greece though, and they managed to get it clear out to this right hand side as Gannon Doak tries to rouse the Tartan Army down in that corner of the stadium, as Hickey prepares to take the throw in here about 20 yards from the corner flag, right hand side. 1-0 Greece in the opening stages of this second period. It's Hickey getting it back here from Christie once more on the right hand side of the box. Good footwork, but then a poor pass, and Hickey picks up once more. Hanley for Hickey. Scotland been forced back the way here, and Hanley has it just at the edge of the penalty area, and he'll just play it back to Craig Gordon. Plays it back to his right foot, but Gordon manages to get that well over the halfway line regardless. And Shearam just limping there slightly as Greece pick up at the back. It's Retsos up towards the centre circle. Solis just clips it out to his right to Bakasetas. Forward for Tete. He plays it out to the right hand side once more to Karetsas, this time up against Robertson. Little step over, fires it into the side netting. Not what the 17-year-old was looking for on that occasion. And it's behind for the Scotland goal kick. 48 minutes on the clock. Greece 1, Scotland 0.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad to see the back of Pavlidis when he got injured as well, because he was giving us a hard time, and Tete a couple of times has gone up to him. That occasion he did well, but the one before that, Scotland got an attack out it, so I think that stunted Greece a little bit as well. But they've not really created anything this second half. We had an opportunity with Gannon Doak when he tried to pick out McTominay, maybe a bit of too much of a delay in it, but I'd like to see us start to create more, because there's a real opportunity to still go on and get that very much needed point.
That's a good ball forward from Ferguson. Adams gets it out to the left hand side now for McTominay. McTominay striding forward onto McGinn. McGinn has to check back, just comes off his heel, but he's managed to keep possession. Scotland just losing a bit of a momentum there, but Ferguson gets it to Robertson, and now it's back with Lewis Ferguson via the foot of Grant Hanley. Robertson once more clips it out to this right hand side again, looking for Gannon Doak. Against a terrific ball, Gannon Doak kills it with the first touch and then plays it back to Hickey. Hickey midway inside the Greek half, out to the far right once more to Gannon Doak up against Tsimikas. Can he get the ball across goal? He stands it up to the back post, but he's just failed to keep it in play. It's behind for a goal kick to Scotland, but clearly looks like there's been an instruction from the manager to get it to Gannon Doak as quickly as possible, which I think is well, certainly Mikey's always calling for that, but I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? He's so dangerous.
Without a shadow of doubt. I mean, just keep giving him the ball, but it's what we were talking and alluding to at the start of the programme, where it's his percentages, and he's direct when you'd be at Tsimikas. Tsimikas is wary of him as well. You can see him, he's he's trying to get tight early, but it's hard when we do those switches and diagonals early. But the ball has to be better, the final cross has to be better.
That was a good challenge there from Tsimikas as Ganondorf was almost in on the right hand side as Adams linked well with him, but Tsimikas slid in to knock it behind for a corner. But Scotland have started this second half pretty much as they finished the first, which was on the front foot, having been on the defensive for most of the first period, in fairness. So here they come looking for an equaliser, with the corner kick to be taken by John McGinn, right hand side, left footed, and it comes from the Aston Villa skipper to the back post, headed back into the 6-yard box, but cleared by Retsos. I think Ferguson thought he was going to be offside there and doesn't go for the ball, and so it's just going to bounce out for a throw in on the far side to Greece, about 10 yards from their corner flag, taken into the feet of Karetsas, back to Vayanidis, who steps forward. But Greece have coughed up possession again. It's McGinn on the left hand side this time, straight into the gloves of Vlachodimos. Not McGinn's best cross, and Greece able to survive that one pretty comfortably. 1-0 the lead here in Athens. Yeah, Billy?
Too close to him. Going back to the corner, it was well worked again. I mean, their zonal shape, we just close in at the back area and shove them all in, and it frees up Lewis Ferguson at the back post. Maybe he should have just gone for a looping header, try to find a head, but he tried to power it back in, and Greece are able to clear. Better sign for Scotland.
Here's McTominay midway inside his own half. Here's Ferguson now picking up possession, and on to Aaron Hickey just inside the Scotland half. There's a back infield to Grant Hanley, and now Andy Robertson, Scotland captain, into the feet of McTominay. Back with Robertson once more, still midway inside his own half, but plays it square to Suter, who's got a bit of grass to step into here, up to the halfway line, and now out to Ganondorf right hand side, up against Karetsas, the two wonder kids, if you like, as Ferguson. Another foul there on Bakasetas, who's certainly having a word in the referee's ear, saying, you know, that's probably a couple of little ones that Ferguson's had since he's gone in the book. Nothing major, but you know, it only takes one more and he'll be off.
You can see it's in his mind now, because he pulls out the tackle. He was thinking about going through, even though it was a loose ball to Lewis Ferguson.
Oh, here comes Scotland. It's Christie. Christie is in. Can he score the equaliser? Lays it to Adams. Oh, what a block! Adams with the rebound. That's blocked as well. Somehow Scotland failed to score the equaliser when it looked absolutely certain that they would grab a leveller, but somehow Greece keep it out, and Shea Adams again has got to be burying that chance.
Oh, it's a wonderful opportunity. Although we've not had a lot of the game, we've had some great opportunities in this game, and when Christie goes through, he actually overruns it, but he picks out the perfect pass for Adams just to blast it home, and somehow the goalie makes the block, and the defenders do enough.
McGinn doing well down the left hand side, almost at the byline, tries to tease it into the box. Mousakaitis manages to hack it away, but Scotland have got Greece in the ropes to some extent at the moment, and but for a good bit of defending and goalkeeping there, Scotland would have been level. Throw-ins taken on the far side. Robertson into the feet here on that left channel of McGinn, and he's one inside a corner. Vayanidis gets it behind, and Greece got themselves in all sorts of trouble there. It was a loose pass and Christie was in, as you say, picked out a perfect pass for Adams, and it's, my goodness, it's Karetsas who gets back to make the initial block. A young man making a really important block, about 6 yards out.
I think it might have been his mistake. It's set up though, so that's why he's get back in there.
Scotland take the corner short to Ganondorf in the angle of the box, left hand side. Plays it into the feet of Christie. Christie inside the area, knocks it back to Ferguson. He's got far too much on that. It's going to drift behind for the Greece goal kick, but it's definitely a better period this for the Scots, either side of half time.
Yeah, and I talked about the standard of chance. We have had some brilliant chances towards the end of the first half, and then there I think he's trying to put it into a corner. I think it's just blast at Adams and make sure it hits the target, but he tries to put it away, and that allows Karestes to get back in and rectify his initial mistake. But it's a better period for us now. I think we've got them in at half time. There's intent there, there's intensity, and I think the confidence has grown, so we just need the breakthrough. We need the goal that's going to get us that valuable point, and maybe even go on to win the game.
Yeah, well, certainly having more of the game, the Scots, than they have had for the bulk of it, but still they haven't been able to find the equalising goal that they require to take into the final game. Remember, Scotland guaranteed the playoffs at worst, but if they want automatic qualification, they need at least a draw tonight, as McTominay puts the challenge in, and it's out for a throw-in this time. The Greeks still looking for a free kick, but not getting it on that occasion. 55 played in Athens. It's Greece 1, Scotland 0, but Scotland have been better just pretty much since injury time in the first half, and they've had I would say 4 clear-cut chances now, and none of them have been taken. And saying that, Greece passed up a good number of their own prior to that. Aaron Hickey then waiting to take the throw in into Christie into the feet of Adams. Adams gets it back to Christie, but he's lost out in the middle of the park, and Greece have given it away themselves, but then Lewis Ferguson sticks it straight out of play. What would be your initial thoughts on changes, Billy, in terms of if it's continuing at 1-0, Scotland trying to bring themselves back into the game?
I definitely, when you see what he did at Hampden and come on and get his goal, I think Lyndon Dykes is certain to come on at some point. If you're desperate for a goal, maybe even Shankland at some point as well, but I think that's a wee bit to go.
Lovely dummy from Hickey. Garen Doak now picks up. He's got Solis with him. Solis is taking it off him and gets it clear down the left hand side. It was lovely play from Hickey ahead of that. Teti now linking with Bakasetas. Teti trying to take on Hanley. He's got beyond him. Teti, can he bring it under control? Carezas trying to make his way into the box in support. Still Teti. Back to Carezas. Goal! Oh, Greece with a sucker punch there on the Scots, who have been so good at the start of the second half. But Carezas caresses it past Craig Gordon. Good work from Teti in the build-up. And then when he rolled it back to Carezas just inside the area, the young man with the left foot curls it beyond Craig Gordon. It's a long way back for the Scots now. It's Greece 2, Scotland 0.
Yeah, our two centre-halves haven't covered themselves in glory again tonight. I mean, on that occasion, Suter gets spun, he goes in tight with Teti to start with, he just lays off, spins in behind him, and then Suter just lets it go. Then he's got to come across Grant Hanley, and he just goes past him, shows good pace. Hanley gets back in, but he just picks out a pass, a pull back to the edge of the box, and we know about Carestas, we know about his technical ability, and my word, he catches that one sweet, and Gordon can't see it until it's past him and it's in the net, and it is a real sucker punch when we were really getting ourselves into the game.
Yeah, and more annoyingly, Gannon Doak had the ball in a good area down the right wing. He was dispossessed rather easily by Solis, and from there they just broke forward, and that was it again. The defending wasn't really up to scratch, and Scotland have it all to do now with just over half an hour remaining. 2 goals down when they need at least a point, otherwise they're going to have to settle for a World Cup playoff, which I guess at the outset of the campaign they would probably have accepted, but having got themselves into such a good position, they will be disappointed if they cannot take it at least to the last game against the Danes. There's Hanley, who was beaten pretty comfortably by Teti down this left hand side in the lead up to that second goal. Now McTominay picking up a bit of space onto McGinn left hand side. Robertson bombing forward in support. He rolls it for him. Robertson tries to slide it in the near post. Wasn't a great ball from McGinn in the first place, and Robertson unable to find a teammate. Greece get it clear. Scotland need a goal back pretty soon, you would imagine, to try and turn this into a contest once more. 2-0 they trail. You're listening to Sportsline on BBC Radio Scotland and on 5 Live. As Hanley plays it out to the left hand side to Ferguson. Gets it back again from Robertson. McTominay again looking to come short and make something happen. Feeds it in looking for Christie. He just can't quite bring it under control. Simikas instead gets it to Mouzakitis, and now Greece could be dangerous on the counter as Scotland look to try and chase the game somewhat, and you would imagine that's going to leave gaps at the back as they open up somewhat in the second period. Just over half an hour to play. Greece 2, Scotland 0. It's Greece in possession at the back through Kouliarakis, and that missed just a couple of moments before the goal went in from Adams when he had the initial shot blocked by Carezas. Looks all the bigger now with a 2-goal gap having been opened up. Here's Vayanidis coming forward for Greece from right back, midway inside the Scots half. Back it goes to Bakasetas, who opened the scoring. Into the feet of Courbellis, so I feel like I've barely mentioned him, but he just keeps things ticking over in the middle of the park, the midfielder. And here's Karetsas.
Him and Mouzakitas. It's not where they got all the glory and the recognition in there, but as you say,
Tete's in for a third. Good save again from Gordon, this time saving with his legs. Tete showing why he's been brought into the international setup, just shifted the ball onto his left foot and blasted it from the edge of the box. Gordon sticking to his task once more to put it behind for a corner.
It's sharp from Tete when he shifts it and he leaves Hanley for dead, and to be fair, it is good skill from the big man. Hits a powerful shot, and yet again Gordon comes to the rescue. We've said that too much in this match.
Just beyond the hour mark here as Bakasetas prepares to take the corner kick from the left hand side. The left footed forward swings it out of the way, the header off the post. Tete on the rebound. It's going to be another corner. Is it Kouliarakis who met that one as it came in? A really good leap from him. Gordon was beaten on that occasion, and Scotland this time helped by the woodwork.
He does well, he's tightly marked, and I mean he shows great strength to get the header in, and he's unlucky. It just absolutely crashes off the post.
Bakasetas to try again then with the outswinger, which almost proved so profitable a moment ago. This time it's Hickey gets his head to it. He lost his bearings there for a minute, and once he finds him, he'll realise it's gone behind for another corner to Greece again from this left hand side. Bakasetas, the captain, to take it once more. Greece looking for a third, which would surely kill the Scots off altogether. Remember, they won 3-0 at Hampden back in March. 2-0 they lead here. Bakasetas, this can't get it beyond Robertson, but it comes to the edge of the box. It's fired straight into the body of Craig Gordon, that time by Courbellis, by Mouzakitis, I beg your pardon, from the edge of the box. A real rifler of a shot, but either side of Craig Gordon, it would have been real bother for the big keeper, but fortunately for him, straight at him. And so it remains 62 minutes in, Greece 2, Scotland 0.
Yeah, once I think it's Robertson, that front post just flicks it away, and Garen Doak should maybe just get a contact on it and get it further clear, but he misses it. But anyway, Mouzakitis, he catches it as sweet as a nut, put it straight at Gordon, as you say.
Come again, Tsimikas is in on this left hand side. Solisaw, goal! Fires it in from 25 yards, and that surely is that for Scotland's hopes of World Cup automatic qualification. This time maybe Craig Gordon will feel he should have done better. Seemed to almost go through his hands, but Solis from distance makes it Greece 3, Scotland 0.
It's a hell of a strike. I mean, we'll maybe see, we'll get pictures coming now in Gordon, but Solis picks up. He's been a danger all game. Yeah, he's got to do better, Gordon. I mean, he saved us tonight, but there's power in it, and it's past him before he knows it. And I think the big man knows that's not his finest moment, but anyway, he still had a great game. I think he's got to stop it. He might have even got a touch, but the power beats him.
Well, all the hope, all the positivity surrounding the Scottish national team in their quest for the World Cup is rapidly diminishing. My goodness, it's 1-1 between Denmark and Belarus. Would you believe? I think that's Belarus's only their second goal of the campaign, having also scored at Hampden, of course, in their last match. But well, how would that affect things? That would put Denmark on to 11. We'd still be on 10, and so actually, I mean, I can't imagine Denmark are not going to win that game, but as things stand, regardless of this thumping scoreline Scotland are on the receiving end of here, they could still, by beating Denmark, they could still qualify automatically.
I will take any miracle with what's
Here comes
going on
Scotland, there's a goal back, it's Garen Doak. 64 minutes on the clock, and from the left hand side, John McGinn fired it into the penalty area, and Garen Doak was there to finish it off. And Scotland maybe just have a lifeline here. Greece 3, Scotland 1.
Yeah, it's all happening, and I mean, Garen Doak's touched it over the line. I mean, I was obviously speaking to yourself, but The Greeks are not happy with something. They're complaining to the referee, but anyway, it's a coming together once it comes into the feet of John McGinn. I don't think there's anything, he's got to be stronger, but McGinn just puts it across the goal. He's definitely onside, and it's a contact finish. He's just got to watch it all the way, get the right contact on it, Gannon Doak, and he puts it high into the net to give us, as you say, a lifeline.
Well, let's hope it is that. But just to reiterate, Denmark level with Belarus, as I mentioned just before that Scotland goal went in. And so that would change things in the sense that even if Scotland were to lose here, if that ends in a draw, then a victory over Denmark on Tuesday would still take Scotland directly into the World Cup without the need of a playoff. But still 25 minutes to play, more or less, in both games, you would imagine, as Bakasetas has got a yellow card, presumably for complaining about the McGinn challenge here on Vagianidis. Basically, McGinn is doing what he always does, which is just backing into the player. He maybe stands on the toe of his marker, but there's absolutely no way you can rule that out for that little bit of contact. And so Ben Gannon-Doak, with his first Scotland goal, has given Scotland fresh belief perhaps here that they can do something in this closing 24 minutes in Athens. Greece 3, Scotland 1. The dream is still alive as Vlachodimos fires it over the halfway line. Greece looking to restore the 3-goal advantage, but that's cut out by Hickey and picked up by Christie on the right hand side. Mouzakitis with a good challenge on Christie though, and Tsimikas plays it forward to Tete. Back goes Hickey though to win it from him, and McTominay fires it back out to the right hand side, and it's Gannon-Doak picking up once more up against Mouzakitis here at the edge of the box. Good challenge from Mouzakitis, holds him up momentarily, but Hickey takes over. Hickey with a left foot shot. Vlachodimos gets everything behind that one to keep it out. A comfortable save really for the keeper. The shot lacked venom and precision, and it remains after 67 minutes, almost 3/4 of the game gone. Greece 3, Scotland 1.
Vlachodimos has got to watch it all the way. It's bouncing in front of him, but he targets, didn't he? McTominay had Adams in there. I thought he was just going to in-swing it with his left foot, but anyway, he goes for the shot, and the chance is gone.
This is insane. Belarus have gone 2-1 up in Copenhagen as Greece come forward here on the right hand side into Solis, who should do a whole lot better, but scoops it over the crossbar. How can Belarus be beating the Danes 2-1 in their own patch?
I don't know, and I don't care, as long as they do, because it's our only option here. I think we're capable of scoring again in this game, but it's whether we can keep it out at the back, and we've just seen there again, there's big gaps. They create a chance, Solis with his right foot leaning back knocks it over, but they're going to get chances because we are trying to push for a second goal.
Craig Gordon with the goal kick then. 3-1 Scotland trail in Athens, 2-1 to Belarus in Copenhagen against group leaders Denmark. It's a scoreline that seems scarcely believable. Here's Robertson picking up on the halfway line, out to Gannon-Doak once more. Here is the outlet. He's the man whose goal has brought Scotland possibly back into things here. Now he finds Ferguson out to the left for McGinn. McGinn up against Vagianidis, drives to the byline, into the box it comes, header away by Courbelis, but Scotland have got Greece pinned back here as they search for another goal. 3-1 the Scots trail. 68.5 minutes played here in Athens. Robertson with the throw in to McTominay left hand side, back to Robertson, and now Ferguson still over on the left hand side, midway inside the Greek half. Robertson once more on the touchline, back to Ferguson again, into McTominay. McTominay will roll it back to Suter inside the centre circle. Now it's Ferguson out to the left hand side once more, looking for Robertson. It's a good ball. Robertson takes a touch out of his feet, swings it in, there's the header, goal! Ryan Christie with the header! Scotland back to within a goal of Greece. Bedlam in the away to our right hand side as the Tartan army believe once more. It is Greece 3, Scotland 2.
I felt as if we could score again. I just said that a few moments ago, but it's good play down the left hand side out to Robertson. I'll tell you what, he digs out a wonderful cross, and I watch Christie's run. I'm thinking, if you get it in that area, he's in here. He does exactly that, gets in the middle of the goal and plants a header down. It's a brilliant header from Christie to put Scotland right back in it.
Oh, this is sensational stuff. Scotland look down and out at 3-0 with about 63 minutes on the clock, but they've got 2 back in the last few minutes, and well, the momentum surely now is with the visitors, and the away fans certainly feel that as they find their voice once more. 20 minutes to play. Scotland need a goal. 1 goal will do it to ensure that Tuesday night is a winner takes all scenario. Joe McGinn picks up on the left hand side, dragged to the ground. Referee says the ball was taken, but McTominay takes over in any case, drives towards the edge of the box, still he's going, surrounded by about 5 players, and eventually he's just crowded out and he can't make any more headway. But Scotland pick up once more. Robertson, another fine ball into the box, away by Tsimikas, and the skipper stepping up to the plate with that terrific delivery for Ryan Christie to plant the header beyond Vlachodimos and give Scotland the belief that they can find a leveller here. Ryan Christie's 9th goal for his country as Suter knocks it forward. He was fouled as he was doing so, and Scotland will have a free kick just inside their own half, taken short by Hanley out to the left hand side to Robertson. The Greeks don't know what's hit them here. Again claiming for a foul. Don't think there was one there, and the referee waves play on as Karetsas gets it to Vayanidis, right hand side, midway inside his own half. Scotland pondering changes here. Kieran Tierney getting a call there, and Scott McKenna also being spoken to as Gannon Doak goes back the way and cuts out a ball forward. Solis then sends it back the way to Kouliarakis in square, just at the edge of his own penalty area for Retsos, and now Vayanidis. The Greeks just need to take the sting out of this game because they are rocking all of a sudden, having looked like they were going to be coasting for the remainder of this game, having gone 3-0 up. But it's their turn to look nervy at the back now as Kouliarakis sends it back to Vlachodimos. First time clearance before Adams can pounce. Headed back towards the Greek goal by Hanley, picked up by Christie. He and Corbellis both hit the deck. The referee just allows play to go on, and Greece come forward. Suter gets there ahead of Solis and nods it back to Craig Gordon, who immediately rolls it out to Lewis Ferguson.
Much better from John Suter. Just reads the situation, deepens, gets a good header back to the goalkeeper.
Flower of Scotland rings out as Christie tries to feed it for Gannon Doak. Oh, Gannon Doak's pinched that. Gannon Doak cuts it back. Adams, surely this time Shea Adams. Keeper's recovered. Shea Adams turns it back. Ryan Christie deflected wide. Scotland corner. Oh, Scotland pass up another huge chance. In fact, the offside flag has now gone up. Not sure who that was actually against, but so Scotland won't get the corner. But Gannon Doak just nicked that, but Shea Adams just taking too long, couldn't get the shot away, eventually found Christie. I think McTominay maybe is the man who's been judged offside. He was right in front of the keeper when that final shot came in, but again, Shea Adams just feel, could he have got the shot away quicker?
I think, well, once he decides to take the touch, it pops up on him. That's the problem. I think if he, once it comes back, just try to guide it on goal as the defenders are going back in, and he probably scores. But even when he takes a bad touch, just smash it. But then he takes 2-3 touches before he eventually sets up the shot. But it's a huge opportunity gone again to get level in the game, which is an incredible turnaround from where we were, and then you see the result elsewhere. It's just all happening out.
Ralston is actually going to come on as well as Scott McKenna, so defensive changes for the Scots as Greece also planning a change imminently. The ball goes out to the left hand side for Robertson, but it's been a really good spell for Scotland. They've got a couple of goals back to reduce the deficit to 3-2. 16 to play here in Athens. Scotland, remember, well, you would imagine they need a point, but the last we heard, Denmark were trailing 2-1 at home to Belarus. Here's the changes coming. It's McKenna for Hanley in these closing stages, and Hickey's coming off to be replaced by Ralston. And the change for the Greeks is the arrival of Yorgos Masouras and the departure of the young man who curled in a second goal for Greece, Kostas Karetsas, who's gone off on the far side to be replaced by Masouras. That's a like-for-like change on the right-hand side of the Greek attack. So what's the thinking there in terms of the Scots changes, do you think, Billy?
I think Hanley's started looking a little bit tired and weary, and he's just got McKenna on. He's got that pace as well, maybe keepers in the front foot as well, and then there's going to be space left, so he's got pace to recover, so not a daft one. And then I think Michael was talking at the start of the programme in terms of Aaron Hickey playing 2 games, so he's lasted 75 in this one. It might make him available if we can set it up for that important game on Tuesday night.
Scotland have it. Robertson looking to feed Ferguson. That's cut out by Courbelis. Scotland take the throw in quickly. It's back with Gordon. Plays it on to Suter at the edge of his own penalty area. Plays it forward for Gannon Doak. Simikas read that well as Gannon Doak tried to dummy him. He's taken a little dunt in the back there, I think. Gannon Doak just holding the small of his back. Maybe felt something from Simikas there as he cut that forward ball out. It's going to be a Greek throw in anyway. Simikas takes it into Mouzakitis. We've got 14 to play in Athens, plus any added on time. It's Greece 3, Scotland 2. The fact of the matter is that with Denmark losing, with Denmark currently losing, if it stays that way, then it's pretty much immaterial if Scotland lose here as well, because it still would be winner takes all at Hampden on Tuesday between Scotland and Denmark.
Yeah, but if we can force an equaliser here and that result stays the same, that gives us a draw.
Well, that means a draw would be enough on Tuesday. But here's Solis picking up possession. Christie thought he was fouled. It comes back here to the substitute Masouras, out to the right hand side to Vagianidis. Solis with the dummy. Ralston's there to clear for Scotland. But you're absolutely right, a leveller here for Scotland as McGinn is penalised. He's also on a yellow, just needs to be careful here. An equaliser for Scotland, and the scoreline staying the same in Copenhagen, with Denmark being beaten, would mean that Scotland would only need a draw against Denmark in the final game at Hampden to ensure automatic qualification for the World Cup. But Scotland do need that third goal, and they can't let any further goals in at the end of defending right now. Free kick to be taken by Bakasetas. Christie gets his head to it inside his own penalty area. McGinn nods it down coolly for McTominay, and now it's Gannon Doak getting turned on the halfway line. McTominay's trying to keep up with him. In fact, he's gone ahead of him. Gannon Doak still going, lacking other support. Now he turns it back to Ralston. Ralston back out to Gannon Doak on this right hand side. Greece have got numbers back now, and Scotland will have to build once more. They've got 12 and a bit minutes of the 90 left to play. They trail by 3-2 as it's played out to the left hand side to Christie, who's been terrific. Robertson back into Ferguson for Suter just inside the Greek half. Ball forward looking for Adams. It's cut out by the sliding Mouzakitis, who's been controlling things in the midfield. The 18-year-old midfielder as McKenna plays it to Ferguson, and out to the left hand side for Robertson. Back once more onto the halfway line to Lewis Ferguson. John Suter now on the halfway line out to the right hand side for Gannon Doak. Plays it infield to Ralston, who tries to fire it straight back to him. Gannon Doak should catch this. Can he get it into the box? He can. McTominay! Oh, what a save! What a save from Vlachodimos to deny McTominay. That looked for all the world like that was going to be the equaliser. Terrific ball in from Gannon Doak. McTominay met it well, but somehow the keeper stuck out a leg. Oh, the left leg trailing just to knock it behind. Scotland get the corner, but it looked like it was going to be the equaliser.
I mean, he goes with his right leg and just pops it down the way. You think he's done everything right. He just had to go maybe an inch either side and he scores, but great save.
McGinn to the near post. The flick on was attempted by McKenna, but it didn't really work, and Greece clear the lines up to Masouras. He's got above Robertson there. Tete seemed to take the legs away from Gannon Doak. Surely the referee hasn't given anything. Here come Greece on the counter. Down the right hand side they come. Tetty making inroads. Gannon Doak's still down. Definitely looked like he was taken out of play there as he prepared to play the pass. Now the referee stopped it. Well, the Greeks are furious about that, but certainly looked like Scotland should have had the free kick in the first instance.
Yeah, it looked like it. He was close to him, and Gannon Doak swings at the ball, but the player's legs are there, and the referee must have felt he kicked off the Greek player, but there's not too much in it. But anyway, he's picked up a sore, at least he's okay, because the give and go from him and Ralston to set up that opportunity was brilliant a few moments ago for Scott McTominay. And I mean, as I say, he could have let it come across and go with his left foot. He hitch kicks it, does it to his right foot, gets it down, gets a good contact, just close to the goalkeeper, and it's still a brilliant save.
Solis with a good ball through for Tsimikas at the left hand side of the area, stands it up to the back post, too much on it for Masouras. He'll go and chase it and keep it in. We've got 10 to play. Greece 3, Scotland 2. Absolutely fabulous, if somewhat nervy game to watch this one, but Greece 3 goals to the good after 63 minutes, pegged back a couple of times by Scotland, but Vlachodimos has produced a couple of big saves to keep it level. Mouzakitis onto the halfway line. Back it goes to Vlachodimos. Greece looking to hold on for the victory here. Not that it would mean anything other than a good scoreline, a bit of pride restored from their point of view in this campaign. Vagianidis comes forward down the right hand side, tracked by Ferguson. Ferguson claims it came off Vagianidis last, but the throw-in goes the way of the Greeks. 2-2 in Copenhagen between Denmark and Belarus, as Lyndon Dykes and Lawrence Shankland both come on here for Ryan Christie and Shea Adams. Steve Clark having to go for it in these closing stages to keep his hopes of automatic qualification alive, because he will still feel that Denmark will go and win that game. He may or may not be aware of the scoreline out there, but regardless, he'll be assuming that Denmark will win it. So the double change made by the Scots with just under 10 to play. Here's Kouliarakis at the back. Mouzakitis now back to Vlachodimos. Goalkeeper takes a touch. Shankland goes to close him down. Vlachodimos up to the halfway line. McKenna's there. Lyndon Dykes tries to turn away from Vagianidis, who's done well to win it back for Greece. Now Retsos, and down the right hand side come Greece. Ferguson though with a good challenge, and Dykes picks up, and Shankland now with his head up plays it to the right hand side for Ralston. Ralston has Gannon Doak hugging the touchline here on the right hand side. That's where the ball goes. Now it's back with John Souttar, about 10 yards inside the Greek half, on the diagonal, looking for Lyndon Dykes. Can he bring it under control? He can. Knocks it back to Robertson. Robertson left hand side in an advanced area. He goes back the way, and now it's McKenna taking it from Ferguson. McKenna for Souttar. Souttar out to the right hand side to Gannon Doak. First time ball in to McGinn. McGinn on the angle of the box, right hand side, clips it, looking for Lyndon Dykes. Lyndon Dykes on the slide, can't get there. Behind for a goal kick. 83 on the clock. Greece 3, Scotland 2.
It was good though, wasn't it? It was got a bit of drive about us, a bit zippy with the passing as well, just rolling it back, getting it John McGinn, and using his backside to just get away from his man, and you think he could just hang one and pick out Lyndon Dykes. He's gone to that left hand side, but just the trajectory was just a little bit low and the ball goes out of play. But we're definitely pushing out for this equaliser. We've got to definitely get drive and energy.
Here comes McTominay chasing, but Vagianidis gets there ahead of him. 2 players hit the deck in the middle of the park now. What's this? Oh, it's a red card for Lewis Ferguson. It's a second yellow as he and Bakasetas, or actually it could be Bakasetas.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank goodness. Bakasetas was already a yellow card. It's him that's backing into Ferguson. You're right. He's the one who's being shown the second yellow. The Greek captain has been given his marching orders with 6 minutes of the 90 to play. Greece will have to see this one out with 10 men.
The night just gets crazier, doesn't it? I mean, we're getting lifeline after lifeline, and we have an opportunity here against the 10 men with 6 minutes to go plus injury time to force an equaliser, and my word, to even try and nick a winner. But got to get level first. We've got this free kick, and Bakasetas, he was in amazement. He just sat on the ground and looked up at the referees. He brandished the red.
Yeah, well, certainly when you look back at it, he certainly just throws a little bit of an arm into Lewis Ferguson, who goes down. And my immediate thought was that it was Ferguson who was being penalised for hauling him
I was
to
a
the
bit
ground.
like you, worried.
But both of them were on a yellow already. Now there's a Greek player rolling around in the ground, and John Souttar's been shown the yellow card for whatever happened off the ball. And it's Tsimikas. Well, they're just looking to run down the clock here as Scotland look to try and get themselves on level terms. But there'll be a delay in taking the free kick. 5 minutes to play. You're listening to Sportsound on BBC Radio Scotland and 5 Live. A gripping encounter in Athens. Scotland still 3-2 down as Robertson lifts it in towards the back post. McKenna tries to force it back across goal. Greece managed to get it clear. Greece down to 10 men with the sending off of their captain, who scored the opener, Bakasetas. Ralston's got it back to Craig Gordon as Greece clear the lines. Out to Robertson it goes. Can Scotland find a leveller in these closing stages? Asouras penalised for the challenge there on John McGinn. And Scotland will get the free kick about 15 yards inside their own territory. Just under 5 to play, plus a little bit of added on time, no doubt, as Robertson hoists a free kick in the direction of Dykes. Dykes chests it down, but the referee's blown for something, whether it was Dykes or Shankland's challenge there. And it's all getting a little bit hot-tempered out there, understandably. Scotland with certainly so much on the line. Greece looking to hold on for the victory that they feel they merit. And they have the advantage, and they're about to make a double change here in these closing stages. It's going to be Pantelis Hatziriakos, the defender, as one of the players who's stripped down there, certainly. But it's not going to happen just yet. This free kick's going to be taken by Vlachodimos. Over the halfway line it goes, well over the halfway line, as McKenna gets his head to it and knocks it out of play on the far side. 3 left in the 90. Scotland trailing by 3-2 in the Greek capital. And Greece in no hurry to take these throw-ins and so on, as George Hurst is going to come on. Scotland do need a goal. They're going to throw everything at this. There'll be a third striker coming on to the field of play, as that's just run out for a Scottish goal kick. Hurst is going to replace Ben Gannon-Doak for these last few moments.
Three big target men will be kind of route one. Let's get it in their half, test out the centre half, see how their back line are handling that, but got to get a bit of possession first to get into good areas to bring some decent quality.
Yeah, McTominay's right up there as well. It's pretty much 4 up front for Scotland right now, as Robertson at the halfway line clips that up forwards, and Greece get another decision there from the referee. Tsimikas going down under Hurst's challenge, and Scotland haven't so far been able to make the most of their man advantage here in the closing stages. Just over 2 of the 90 to play, and Greece still leading by 3-2. 2-2 in Copenhagen, and if it stays like that, regardless of the outcome here, Scotland will still have the opportunity on Tuesday night to go and beat Denmark and qualify automatically for the World Cup. Charalampos Kostoulas, a young Brighton player, is going to come on and make his international debut in the closing stages here, as well as Hatziriakos, who I mentioned already. But again, the change not being allowed to take place. The referee telling the goalkeeper to get on with it here, which he takes his time in doing so, but eventually fires it forward. We've got 90 seconds left plus added on time, as McKenna wins it well above Tete. Tete's stayed down, but the referee allows play to continue as Scotland come forward. Now Tete's back on his feet, realising he wasn't getting anything there. Anywhere will do at the moment for Greece as they look to hold on to this 3-2 victory. Mousakidis knocks it out of play, and now the changes will come for the Greeks. And it's Mousakidis, one of the players who is going to make way. It's been terrific, a real young star in the making. And the other player who's going to come off is Solis. He'll be replaced by Kostulas, I mentioned. And here comes the young man, a lot expected of him as well. And Greece just trying to see this game out now as Kostulas brighten forward. Comes on and he's got 2 goals in his 4 under-21 appearances. This is his first outing for the senior side. Can he help them to victory here this evening? We've got only a few seconds left of the 90 now. It's going to have to be an injury time equaliser for Scotland, if at all. They're trying to build here a position to get the ball in as Suter plays it to his right to McGinn. McGinn curls it up towards the edge of the box, chested by Shankland. It's Hurst trying to make something of it, but Greece managed to hack it away. The fourth official's about to show us a board. It looks like it's 4. It's not been... Yeah, there it is, 4 minutes added on. We're into those right now as McGinn has it on the right hand side and he finds Ralston. Ralston, can he get the cross in from that right hand side? He can, but it's well defended and Greece pick up, and Tsimikas will just play it down the left channel for Teti. Teti just stumbles as he picks up possession and McKenna takes it off him and plays it infield for Ferguson. Can Scotland find the leveller they so desire? It's Ferguson almost running into trouble in the shape of Masouras, but he gets it to McTominay. McTominay left hand side for Robertson, back to Ferguson. Ferguson back in field to McKenna, who helps it on to Suter. Greece have got everyone behind the ball, well inside their own territory as Ralston plays it forward, looking for the run here. It's a good bit of play from McGinn. McGinn across goal, surely. Oh, how did Greece get it off the line? That looked like McTominay cleared it off the line himself. My goodness, I don't know what happened there. I just can't quite explain how Scotland failed to turn that into the back of the net.
It looks like Hurst was in there as well. I'm not sure if it's come off the back seal and come out the way rather than sticking in the net. Brilliant play again from McGinn, so strong, right along the byline. Cuts it back, you're thinking, Hurst, the goalkeeper's got a touch, and then it's come off of Hurst back the way. I thought that Hurst, because I think he looked in amazement. Oh, it's a glorious chance, to be fair to him. It's such an important touch from the goalkeeper.
Sure is. It really is, and he's had a few important touches in this game, Vlachodimos, to deny Scotland. Here they come once more, the visitors. Robertson into the box, Dykes can't get there. Greece clear. We've got a couple of the 4 minutes that were initially added on left to play. There's McKenna on the halfway line, plays it square to John Suter. Suter steps forward on the diagonal, looks for Robertson. Robertson almost at the byline, into the box, but Retsos clears out to the far side. Still a couple of minutes to play. Scotland have the throw-in out on the left hand side. Ferguson takes it back the way to John Suter. Suter back out to Ferguson on the left. Here's Suter once more inside the centre circle. Scotland need a goal as Ralston tries to get the run there on Tsimikas, who recovers well. Who did that come off last? Scotland corner. This could be the final opportunity. Just over a minute left of the 4 added on. Still, as far as we know, Denmark 2, Belarus 2, which would render a defeat immaterial. Craig Gordon's gone up for this. Well, I suppose there's nothing to lose here as the Scotland goalkeeper joins the attack. Now he's been waved back, actually. Maybe they've got word of what's happening in Copenhagen. In comes the corner. Header comes in. Punched by Vlachodimos. Gets it out of the penalty area. Ralston out to the right hand side to McGinn. McGinn tries to... Oh, that's a terrible challenge from Teti. That's going to be another free kick here for Scotland on the right hand side. Time running out for the Scots. What can they produce here? It's got to be now or never, with 30 seconds left on the clock. McGinn from the right hand side.
One bit of quality out.
That's what we need. It's McGinn with the left foot, curls in. Can a Scotland head get to it? And Vlachodimos has smothered that brilliantly, very bravely as well, at the feet of Scott McKenna. And that looks like that will be that in terms of the scoreline here. And it's 7 minutes added on in Copenhagen. I think they've played about 2 of them. It's still 2-2. We need Belarus to cling on for that 1 point out there, which would mean that Scotland would still go to Hampden despite defeat here. They would still go to Hampden and know that a victory would take them automatically to the World Cup. Greece have possession through Vlachodimos, their goalkeeper, who's just taken it for a walk. Hurst goes and closes him down, but surely we've only got seconds remaining here in Athens. The referee glancing at his watch, that's at least 8 seconds. That's surely at least 8 seconds that the goalkeeper has had the ball in his possession. Allowed to clear, knocks it out to the right hand side. Vagianidis helps it on. Bit of indecision, there's a full-time whistle. Greece have won by 3-2. A valiant effort and a comeback from the Scots, who looked down and out at 3-0 down after just over an hour. But goals from Ben Gannon-Doak and Ryan Christie brought them back into it. But they just could not find an equalising goal. McTominay was denied by a wonderful save from Vlachodimos, who performed heroics at times to keep the Scots out. Craig Gordon had done likewise in the first period to keep the score at just 1-0 in that first half. And Bakasetas, who got the opener, but Greece eventually found a second and a third through Karetsas and then Solis. But that was before the Scotland recovery began. But the goals from Ben Gannon-Doak, the first for his country, and then Christie as well, gave the Scots hope that they could mount a comeback. It wasn't to be in terms of the leveller, despite a late dismissal of Bakasetas. But Scotland ultimately falling to defeat here. It might not, though, be the death knell for their hopes of qualifying automatically for the World Cup, because we wait to hear the outcome of that game in Copenhagen. Currently 2-2 between Denmark and Belarus in the dying moments of stoppage time. If that stays as it is, then Scotland can still qualify automatically by beating Denmark at Hampden on Tuesday. If the Danes score late on in that one, then Scotland will have to settle for the playoffs. We'll find all that out in the next few minutes, but it finishes here in Athens. Greece 3, Scotland 2.